Good morning and welcome to Crow Inclined, here today with a daily energetic check-in. I'm using the Enchanted for Hawks of Tarot, and our card of focus today is the Eight of Water, which is like the Eight of Cups in a traditional deck, right? So, excuse me, I'm not sure where that came from. So the story behind this card is there's this fairy standing on the shoreline, right? And they're getting ready to embark on this new journey. And this is going to require removing the wings, right? Notice the little marks on the back. And then eating a plant that fuses the legs together and covers them with scales and gives them a fin, all that good stuff, okay? Once this happens, there's no going back. This is a conscious decision to move forward. Okay, this is a transformation that it's not to be taken lightly. Okay, it's it took a lot of time to get to this point of moving on. It took a lot of acceptance, right? It took a lot of acceptance before this sort of discovery of a side of themselves that they wanted to explore sort of came to the surface, so to speak, right? There were probably feelings of discontent. Maybe they just got tired of their life, right? Focus narrowed, and when let me find my words. When we're in a place of discontentment in our life, we tend to focus on what we don't have, right? We focus in on the lack. Okay. So this is happening. There's no going back. They need to not only change where they live, but change who they are. It is transformation. So when this card shows up, it could, indicate that there's a situation in your life that feels like it's run its course. Okay. And maybe you wished that it would have gone differently, but it didn't. But when this card shows up, it's time to move on emotionally. You might be feeling burnt out about something in your life, a job, responsibilities, all of that. You may be experiencing a relationship that's just done, or just a lack of inspiration, right? So the Eight of Water shows up when we're at a point in our lives and something's going to give. And so you need to be ready to make that change. Do the prep work now, because it's coming. There's no going back. When the Eight of Cups shows up, there's already the decision to move towards the future and an acceptance that the past isn't going to change. Sometimes this Sometimes this means removing yourself from a situation or breaking from a group, changing whatever that is in your life. And when we do that, there's room for expansion. There's room for expansion into a fresh new start. Okay? So when we get to that point of discontentment, that actually is a signal for us to a new journey, to a new adventure that is awaiting us. And it takes a lot of bravery and courage to accept that things aren't going to change and to take action, even if it means leaving behind people, places, and things that we love. It doesn't mean that they weren't important on part of your journey. It just means that there's something better waiting for you. Okay? That seemed a little heavy today. But you know what? New adventures can be really fun and exciting too. Right? And with new adventures comes new places, new friends, new experiences, fresh ideas, right? It's just sort of stirring the pot. So I have the Witch of the Forest Tarot Magic today, and we're going to get into this. I like the story behind this card. and the intent. Okay, this Eight of Waters in this deck really shows intent and preparation with moving forward into something new. Okay. So anyway, I want to thank everyone so much for being here. I'm happy to be on your journey with you, and honored to be able to bring you these messages every day. Use your discernment. Take it as it resonates. Not every reading is going to be specifically for you. These are not one-on-one. This is a collective reading for, well, it's a general reading for the collective. Okay. All right. Let's get into this. Yeah, I've got a few things going on in my life right now that that I'm going to have to leave some things behind as well. So I'm definitely resonating with this today. Yeah, here we go. We have the Eight of Swords right away, which is, it's restrictions and limitations that we place on ourselves. It is that lack mindset. It is narrowing the focus to what we don't have and possibly creating narratives that aren't true, right? Limitations and restrictions. That's what we're talking about here when that focus narrows and you're only looking at what you don't have because of the discontent, right? Wow, and your energy is the Justice card. So yeah, the balancing of the scales of karma, the karmic scales. There is that sort of truth, right? The Eight of Water says that you absolutely have come to a place of understanding and the truth that sometimes things aren't going to change the way we want them to. And it's best to move on. I like that this Justice is looking towards the future. This is in your energy. This is balancing the scales of justice for you. Even if it's going to be hard. All right. Keep in mind, look at this, the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, you are building something new, right? Look at the way the page looks at that coin. This is about building a new foundation for yourself in the material world. It's an idea that the page is going to move forward on. Now, the pages are typically, youthful, fresh energy, but they can be a little immature. But the page has this adult-like mind, strategic mind about money, finances, investing, anything in the material world, like building that sturdy foundation. All right. So this is what's coming. As you're stepping away from the old, moving into the new, you allow room for expansion with these new, fresh ideas, right? Yeah. So it's time to shimmy out of those bindings. Take that blindfold off, look around and notice that these swords do not create a prison or a cage around you. You are free to walk away from this mental state, this mentality, whenever you choose, whenever you are ready. And 8, you are ready with this Eight of Water coming up for you today. Yeah, I feel like there are a lot of people heading out on a new adventure. Oh, I think something just flipped. Oh, it did. Death card. It's another card of transformation. This is a card of transformation, right? Leaving the old, stepping into the new, and here we are. This is a new beginning for you. It is a death and rebirth. Remember, and that happens when you take that blindfold off and you start to prepare, right? Remember, the Eight of Water talks about not only changing maybe where you live, but also who you are. So this reading is really about a deep personal transformation. And it's for you. It's not for like you and your family and your friends and all of that. This is specifically for you at your core. You have a deep understanding of something that needs to change. Look at that. In your energy is the Strength card. You have mastered those lower vibrational emotions, right? So you can face this, you know, with this inner wellspring that is infinite. You've earned it. It's yours. This means you can move forward in a more calm and controlled manner without being reactionary, without getting triggered. There's a kind of a calm, peaceful energy with the Strength card. And it's going to allow you, as you're moving into the unknown a little bit here, to stay calm and grounded. Okay? Staying calm and grounded. Oh, yep. Keep in mind we have the Three of Swords as well. Yeah. This is what so with the Death card here, this is part of what you're leaving behind, right? You're leaving behind this lack, and it looks like maybe this lack has come to you through some sort of heartbreak, right? A lot of times what we do with the heartbreak, you know, the swords in the heart of the Three of Swords, is we can turn that into part of our personal story, and we use it to define it. We don't use it. It defines us in some manner. So this is part of what you need to leave behind. Okay, because your heartbreaks don't define you. Okay, they're experiences, and we learn lessons and we gain wisdom, but they do not define you. Okay, that's part of what you're going to leave behind, or probably some false narrative. Well, not even that, just some outdated beliefs, I think is what it is. It's just outdated, right? Stale. I don't know why I needed to say stale for someone. Okay, yeah, this is a pretty darn deep reading today. But we have the Star coming out under the Death card, right? So this is just going to, I think it's going to clear. Like maybe things seem cloudy. And I understand that things can be really cloudy when we don't know what's going on, or we kind of refuse to make the changes we need to make to move forward, right? But the Star comes out and everything clears, right? It brings some clarity because you're realigned again with that North Star, with that guiding light that's within you. You're realigned with wishes and dreams, and you know, yeah, maybe wishes and dreams that you haven't thought about for a while. Getting that inspiration back, moving into a creative phase again, like feeling excited about it. Wow. Okay. This is going to be, oh, whoa, that's like all the deck. Okay, it's like half the deck. Yeah, this is, I mean, it's going to be, I feel like it's going to be a little bittersweet, but the results are going to be amazing, okay? The results are going to be amazing, yeah, because here's the Page of Wands in your energy. This is the spark of an idea, and you know, fiery, juicy, fun, creative, and it's been within you, right? This comes from within. And when we're realigning with that guiding light, the one that we carry within us, that is our higher self, here comes the spark, right? We were just talking about inspiration, and here it showed up in your energy. Yeah, this is really kind of a gift for you to give to yourself. Letting go of outdated beliefs and, you know, narratives that aren't going to serve you where you're going. Allow that room for expansion. And you are. You definitely are. Look at this. We have the moon showing up. I love the moon. So it does talk about the mystical, magical. And yes, the moon can sort of indicate the unknown, right? But it can also illuminate. And this little crayfish comes up from the depths of the water. It represents something that bubbles up from your subconscious that you may have forgotten. Now, it does go back down under the water, but that whatever that idea or that thought, that remembrance that it brings up is going to stick with you. And I think with this card showing up in the keep in mind, that it's bringing you something that you had forgotten about, a wish or a dream that you had at some point in your life. And it's showing up as this Page of Wands. Holy cannoli. Yeah, it's going to be amazing. Let's grab a couple more cards. I think the message is pretty clear. There's something or some things you need to leave behind, whether it's physically, mentally. It is moving on. Physically, mentally, emotionally, yeah, and then look what comes out for you. The Ace of Pentacles. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of material world abundance. This is a gift from Spirit, right? This is why the Justice is showing up in your energy. The Justice card, because this is a balancing of the scales of justice for you in your favor. You're on the right side of that blade. Yeah, and you're going to be able to lay down your burden. Yeah, so, you know, like the fairy in the Eight of Water, it's time to prepare. Do the things that you need to do. Pay attention to the details of it, because it's time to move on from something. And all of these beautiful, amazing things are going to happen. You're going to be realigned. You've got this great idea that's sort of bubbling and brewing, and it's come to the surface with this moon. All right. This is all about building your new foundation. You have the strength that's in the middle of this reading. This is a huge transformation for you. So I say go for it. All right. That is your message for today. Thank you so much for being here. Like and subscribe, share with your besties, and I will see you next time.